that's the only thing I can think of. I think this cord's messed up, or it's that or this microphone. Something's not. Because
I
now
think it might be something on my end though, because I restart my computer now. It's fine.
yeah, but I restarted mine too. So
Oh, yeah.
because the microphone was glowing red and it wasn't working. Now it's green. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, so
I don't
it's
need my
working.
glasses
But all right,
anymore.
cool.
I'm
We're
bored.
back. So
I'm
and we're back.
bored.
Sorry,
It's
that
fine.
was well, that sucks. That was our whole life got messed up. So um yeah, that's all right. All right. Welcome
Good
to the
times.
Pop Culture Green Room. Sorry, y'all. We have some technical difficulties here. Apparently, I'm having
Yeah.
some mic issues, but it seems like if it's not one thing, it's another. That seems to be the story of
Right.
my life these days. What's going on, Blair?
Sounds about right. Doing all right. Just been busy and tired,
Yeah,
but I
what's
mean,
going
it's
on?
been a good busy. But I mean, I'll just say this: that I think more than before, I look forward to doing these recordings because, well, I mean, I feel like I'm feeling normal again because I'm plugging back into the things I like to do and watching the shows I like to watch. I think it might also be springtime. I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I know I sound a little sentimental, but I think it all kind of comes into play, and I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm really happy about that, and it's kind of like a sense of relief when I get to record again because kind of yay, and it's fun again because it's like because I don't have too much plot and going on, so that's really good. And I'm praying I can sleep
Right.
tonight.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Good to hear. Oh, I know, right? No, I can't wait to I got so much going on. No, yesterday was just so bad because, of course, you remember I was trying to get that because I've got a whole I've got podcast episodes. I've got 3 of them in the bank that I'm like ready to roll out. And the problem is I just
Yeah.
had trouble like uploading these files. It was a nightmare. Like I spent like 10 hours yesterday trying to upload one file and everything just kept going wrong. I was really upset, but Danielle like saved the day this morning, so I was happy. So I just went over to her house and she
That's
was
good. Yeah.
like, I got you, homie.
I
All
have a
right,
her. I
let's
know,
get
right?
into it. All right, first headline I saw is yeah, Chris Brown has been arrested again. But I thought it was something recent, but I had to read the article. This is a perfect example of like not just reading the headlines where you have to kind of get a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So I'm gonna share my screen here because I look at CMZ's uh website. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Mm-mm. Here we go. All right, cool. Let's see. Here it is. Did you hear about this, Blair?
I actually didn't, except for whenever I saw that you shared it with me in our little joint file that we put our topics in.
Got it. Okay. So apparently, this is an incident that happened like 2 years ago
Really?
In the United Kingdom.
Hmm.
So according to TMZ, here, Gus Brown is in trouble and da 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 da. So apparently, they waited for him. I guess it seems like as soon as he arrived in town off of his private jet, whenever he got he had a clash with music producer Abe Diao. I guess that's how you say his name. And he accused him of attacking him with a tequila bottle, if I'm correct. And he said that Chris punched him and kicked him. And apparently I guess he filed a lawsuit against Chris Brown in 2023. And he headed out there and he was yeah, he was arrested. So I don't know because I was wondering. I mean, he's kind of like stayed out of trouble for the most part. I haven't heard like a whole lot about Chris Brown, but
Well, I'll be
I guess I don't know.
dear.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's just I mean, I guess I was kind of surprised because I hadn't heard anything in like a couple of years. So I was thinking it was like a recent incident, but it was something from a couple of years ago. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if it's something from a couple of years ago and he just got arrested today and it happened in the UK, it makes sense because it's kind of like how to say it. I know with warrants, whenever people like have a warrant out for their arrest, that's probably what it was, and that they had to wait for him to come to the country. to actually get arrested and for them to actually enact it. That's what I'm thinking would happen.
Yeah. Right. Which makes a lot of sense because I
That's
mean,
another
it
day in
sounds
life
like
with Chris
something that
Brown.
would. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? What was it a few years ago? Didn't he? Wasn't he threw like a chair out of a window and through a window? It was like I think it was like the set of Good Morning America, like some years back or whatever. But um, I know they had a documentary out that came. I think I saw part of it. It was on Netflix, I believe. Was it on? Or no, or was it HBO Max?
I
It
feel like
was
I
one of those
vaguely remember
stations.
something like that, but Chris Brown, he's so hard
Yeah, but I want
to
to.
keep up with.
Yeah, but I want to say I think there was like a lawsuit or something that was filed. Like he filed a
He's
lawsuit or
so hard to
something
keep up
saying
with.
that that's what it was. So we covered it.
Oh
It's
man,
been
I
like
wouldn't
months
doubt
ago,
it.
but yeah, and he was trying to say it was like it was defamation of his character. So there's that there. And of course, we all have what's going on with Blake Lively and the latest. And did you see the latest? Where Blake Lively
Yeah, I definitely saw that one.
apparently yeah,
Yeah, so
it looks like
apparently, yeah,
I'll let you get into it.
she did the very foolish thing. Okay, so from what it looks like here is that I mean, I obviously don't think they're friends anymore because apparently, um,
There's no way.
let's see,
I don't think so either. What do you think?
yeah,
I don't
so
think.
apparently, from what I understand, yeah, I don't know the whole gist of it, but from what I understand is that they ended up like something happened with this whole Justin Baldoni Blake Lively trial that happened, and
Hmm?
Blake was actually trying to get Taylor to delete her text messages, and she was pretty pushy
Yeah.
about it. And here's the thing:
Mhm.
I don't know I mean, I know a good bit about Taylor Swift, and I like her. Okay, I'm not really huge on music, but the thing is that I know enough about her to know
Right.
that you don't do that kind of shit with her, and not think that you don't have there's no consequences.
Yeah. I'm just shocked. I think what shocks me is I mean, we all know how much of a powerhouse that Taylor Swift is. I think it just shocks me that I'm shocked that Blake Lively, I think she's more of a narcissist than I thought she was for her to threaten her. But then at the same time, do you think this is all Blake? Do you think I think she is I do think that her and Ryan Reynolds are what but do you think a lot of this is Ryan's doing and pushing? Or do you think it's the both of them? What do you like, what are your opinions? Like, what's your opinion?
Okay, so okay, they had so I don't like I'm gonna like Ryan and Blake have been just so messy throughout this whole thing. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I'll say it. Public opinion is definitely not in their favor right now, and I don't know how they're going to recover from this. I mean, if anything, I'll say that from what I've noticed is that I mean, people in general don't like cancel culture, so I
Right.
think maybe that needs to probably just go away for a couple of years and then come back and reemerge, because I really feel
Mhm.
like that with this whole thing that it made them look really bad because it sounds like to me. I mean, I haven't followed the whole thing that closely, but from what I have seen and what I've heard, if I'm right, it sounds like that some things are probably heating up between Justin and Blake, and Ryan caught wind of it and just flipped everything out on Justin, flipped everything on him, and did everything she could to make him look bad. And this whole it caused the movie to look really terrible.
Yeah, it's so crazy because
And
I
with
feel
that
like
happening, her
that's what I feel
being
like. I
really
think
like the best friends with, demanding
Mhm.
allegedly that she wanted her to delete text messages. Um, that's probably what happened. Because it's like I remember hearing that rumors that they were on the outside, their friendship was probably dissolved because of this, and I think that's something to do with it. And I mean, it clearly
Right.
looks like well, since his team produced, this I guess like this documentation, whatever it is, citing that she was trying to force Taylor's hand, and Taylor, like I said, Taylor's too much of a powerhouse to do that, and I think she was kind of like, I think the fuck not,
Mhm.
and basically it's just, I mean, just a clear example of Blake Lively fucking around and finding out.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I don't even know why I didn't even think about that, but that's exactly what happened. And it's crazy because I'm like, I mean, she does not look like a victim. Blake does not look like a victim in this at all anymore. And
No.
I it's just so crazy. And now I see why it's like it makes sense as to why Justin Baldoni was just not backing down. And which is so wild to me is like I'm one of those people that I'm always about believing the victims, but things just the more information was caught, things just weren't adding up. And it just seemed like it was like a witch hunt and like a power trip. And then like all this evidence that was supposed to come out just seemed to have never come out. But I think that friendship is done for. I definitely think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's like this.
I don't know how you recover from that.
Yeah.
She threatened her friend. You threatened your best friend
Yeah.
to like to have your back. I wonder how she. That's horrible. Like that's so that you're like you're gonna threaten to release private text messages. Like that's rotted. That's some rotted shit. I
Well, how
don't
quickly
know.
the tables can turn.
I know that's insane, and that's craziness to do that. But are you watching The Valley? I know you are watching The Valley because we've been watching it.
I am,
And
yes.
so,
And
okay,
I
so
haven't, like, I just started this most recent episode.
which one are you on? Yeah, I think you cut out a bit.
I
What
just
were you
started the most
saying?
recent episode. So I'm probably only about, let's see. I'd say I'm probably only about like 10, 15 minutes into into the episode 5, the most recent one.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, let's talk.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's all basically kind of like the same thing, but it's I noticed that they said that the ratings this past episode tanked a lot. I think what do you think is going on? I think it's weird. It seemed like everyone was excited about the Valley. It got here. It was great. I mean, the first season was lovely. I loved it. I thought it was
Oh,
excellent.
yeah, me too.
And then I think just a lot of real life ugliness is starting to show
Yeah.
in this second season. And
They
now
got
it's
way
just
too dark
it's where
side.
it's huh?
They got way too dark side really fast, and with the whole Jackson Brittany
Yeah.
of it all. And
Mhm.
especially that, and I think that, but I think also, I think people are just kind of worn. Here's the thing. So that's what I feel like social media can actually. They can either help or hinder your show if you do reality TV. And I think because of the
Right.
fact that we see a lot of these things happen in real time and seeing that, we're also seeing behind the scenes of them going back and forth and bickering on social media and whatnot, or if not that, we're hearing about it from other sources before episodes are aired. So it's kind of like a lot of people are kind of. I'm assuming this is like my theory, and my guess is that people are tuning in, they're seeing that this stuff's like way more dark than they wanted it to be. It got to the point where it just wasn't
Right.
fun anymore, and it wasn't entertaining anymore. Because I mean, it's real life. I mean, addiction is real, and then seeing that happening, and then I think people are just kind of like, okay, I just kind of maybe want to back away. It's getting a little too dramatic, and not even just with Jackson
Mhm.
Brittany, but also I think with Jesse
Now with
and
Michelle and
Michelle.
yeah, Michelle
Yeah,
and Jesse. Yeah.
so I think that might have a
And
little
that's
bit to
getting
it, possibly. Yeah,
mhm.
and that's
Oh, that's right. You didn't even yeah.
that'd be
Go
my
what were you
guess.
saying?
Yeah, that would be my guess because I left off on yeah, like I said, I'm about like 15 minutes into the episode 5, which aired this past Tuesday. So, but I'm kind of thinking that it's a little bit of that, and the fact that a lot of people kind of know it's already happening because of social media, and we're
Mhm.
traveling fast because of that. So, what's why it's like what I feel like it was Casey had pointed this out before, how it's kind of like that reality TV, I think, is suffering because of social media in a sense.
Mhm.
Social media is
Oh.
so I think that I feel like in a roundabout way, it's all interconnected. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And which it makes total sense because you've got to think about it. At the height of whenever reality TV first came about, that was what, like a good almost 30 years ago. We
Yeah.
had it first basically came about because of a writer's strike. Because of a writer's strike, and it was cheaper. It was super cheap to make compared to because you don't have to pay like actors. You get these reality stars, pay them, or not even reality stars because they weren't reality stars. Like get these people in,
Yeah.
pay them like pocket change at the time. And I mean, you don't have like writers to pay, like all these things. So it's like it was cheap, and then all of a sudden it's like they figured they were onto something. But like you said, now with the growth of social media, I think that also plays a part into it. As well. But I know that with the most recent episode though, it gets like pretty dark. And I think like you said, like some people are kind of turned off by it. And then it's just one of those things too, where it's like now it's kind of like I think they're saying that I think the whole cast isn't going to return next season. And I think they're thinking about doing a
Really?
whole yeah. Because I was listening to Up and Adam today, and that's what that he was talking about. That I think Bob was saying that they're not going to they're probably going to if they bring it back the Valley back for the third season, that it's not gonna be the full cast. And I think that's when they're gonna end up pulling and putting like Sheena in and Lala,
But that's what's
which
gonna
I don't
happen. Yeah.
mind at all. I actually like that because what's going on too, and like they were saying, is that people they don't like seeing old faces and learning new things all over again, it seems. Because they saw it with Roni. And this is like the things
I mean, like see
Adam
the new
was saying,
faces.
Up and Adam. And he made great points. And I was like,
Yeah.
he was right. So it's kind of like when Roni rebooted, it was just it's kind of now it's the third season's not coming back right now. So it's like on the shelf. So
Yeah, it's on
it's
pause until to figure out what to do with it next. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But I'm curious to see though. I wonder if um Jax, I feel like he is in such a place like he is like definitely just trying to stay relevant on television because I saw the other day he did some kind of like poster clip with Sandoval. So it's like he's trying to, I guess I think they're all just trying to figure things out, but
Yeah.
excuse me.
I
Yeah,
think a lot
it's
of people are in
reality
entertainment
TV.
based honestly, but yeah, but especially in reality TV space because it's just bottoming out. But I mean, I think for Jack's own good, honestly, I don't think he gets to be anywhere near any cameras, anywhere near social
Mhm.
media for a while. Is that going to happen? Unfortunately, probably not. And I say it not to make fun of him, but I say that because it's like, shit, you need to get yourself together. And I don't. He's someone who wants an audience too much, and I'm not trying to dog on a guy. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I mean, that's the reality of the
Mhm.
situation. That I don't think that he's going to really recover the way he needs to unless that happens.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. It's just it's very scary. It's a very scary thing to watch. That's for sure. But speaking of reality shows, tonight, it's actually on right now, if I'm correct. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives starts today.
You have a
The first episode of season 2. Yeah, it premieres, and it's so funny because Wendy and we've been back and forth like talking about it, like trying to get ramped up and ready for it. Because she recapped it, of course, obviously she recapped it with us.
yeah.
The first season 1,
I
so
think it's
she's
fine.
excited for season 2 to get here. But me too. But I feel like I don't know. I think they're maybe bringing somebody else in. I don't know too much.
No.
I've been so kind of like out of the loop with it, but I do know that they were doing kind of like they did like a cross thing with Vanderpump Villa. So it'll be interesting to see. I know it looks like all the girls are back from the last season, so it'll be interesting because now I'm waiting to see if they're going to be like self-produced or if this is going to be like a natural flowing thing. I'm curious. I'm really curious.
I
What are
guess I
your
have to
thoughts?
say, yeah, because I mean, I'll have to confess that I actually didn't finish, I think, the whole season. I think I have like 2 episodes I didn't get to. Just that life
Oh,
just
do
got really
you?
chaotic at
Okay.
the time. Like, so, but
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, it
usually,
did. Yeah, it
I
got
mean, don't
crazy.
get me wrong, I absolutely loved the show, and y'all know that. Because I had fun watching it and we had fun recapping it, and obviously our viewers and listeners enjoyed it too. And it's just that I think this is life got that's one of those points where life just kind of really started getting in the way. So I couldn't really pay attention to it or have the bandwidth to watch it at the time. But am I gonna finish this last episode of best interest? Yeah. And that way I can where I left off there. But I know lots and I'm trying to have to remember some names over again. I
Oh
feel bad
no,
about that.
yeah,
But
that's where the note taking comes back in. I know. Well, I'm
yeah,
glad
yeah.
you get something on TV because
Yeah.
it's like everything's been kind of a drag lately. So it's
Yeah.
well, not everything. I've actually been watching a little bit more scripted shows than I normally would, and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
dipping a little bit into some true crime shows here and there. I think right now it's so crazy. Like my anxiety's been kind of like unusually high with some of some of the true crime things. But of course, with the Diddy case, I'm still glued to everything going on with that trial right now. And of course, like Cassie's been, she finally took the stand, so things have been coming out, but it's just I'm starting to get worried. I'm starting to get scared because I really think that man needs to be locked up and the key needs to be thrown away.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like right now, what it's looking like, it looks like the prosecution is trying to put together where that I guess where the RICO charge comes in. I don't know. This is where I wish Andre was here to kind of like
Right. Yeah.
talk a little bit
Exactly.
more. But it's like to get an insight. Who knows? Maybe we might be able to snag him again very soon. Or if not, like our cousin Marcus says he'll come. So I know we'll get somebody to come. We can but I think it's wild. And I'm concerned for her because the fact that she's about to like have a baby like any time now. And
Yeah, I
it's
know.
like I just wonder like how far is she going to be pushed like on that stand, if like I wonder if she's done, if she's gonna go back on. It's just a lot of things.
And what's so crazy about it to me, like thinking about her life and how like in a trajectory it's on now, and just being like so genuinely happy for her, is the fact that it's just also seeing how dangerous Diddy is, how dangerous he is,
Yeah.
and the fact that she met Alex, her husband, Alex Fine, through him, because
Oh, I
he
didn't
was
know that.
yeah, he was a personal he was well already was actually Cassie's personal trainer, but I think it's actually her and Diddy's personal trainer. Yeah, that's how they met.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't know that. Okay.
then they end up getting together, and then so it's kind of like that's a real man. 'Cause I've always, I mean, he seemed like such a stand up guy anyway, but
She
he had
does. He
to have
really does.
known what he was up against. Because I mean, obviously she had told him, and she was
Mhm.
the one that pretty much blew the whistle on all this stuff very recently, and that's where things kind of
Right.
start coming about. But at the same time, I think this is probably something she's had in motion for a while, because with the FBI being on his case, like they've been following him for years, because they don't like it takes
Mm,
some time to build up a good case, and they obviously had a lot of shit on him. And I mean, it's clear they do have a lot of video evidence, and jurors
right.
are watching apparently some very explicit videos, and yeah, he's done for. Like, there's no getting out of this.
I hope so, but then
Yeah,
now it's kind of like I was like after watching TMZ, it's like it's looking like yeah, the whole thing, the whole trial is not about the assault though, and not about the abuse. It's about I guess like they're trying to show I guess the connection with the sex trafficking. And
right,
I
right.
think with what happened with her and the freak offs and stuff, to try to like, I don't, it's a big mess. And they're trying to, I guess, connect the dots to get him convicted. And it's just like, it- it's, it's kind of looking like, it's looking a little bit better for the defense than I expected. Than I guess a lot of what the public expected, if that makes any sense. But yeah, like I said, we'll see what's going on. We'll keep an eye on the trial and everything. And if so, like need be, I think we could easily get somebody back on.
Oh
So
yeah, for
come and
sure.
help us.
That's all I
Yeah,
was
but
saying. How
that
it's like, like just circling back real quick to like with Alex, because like he literally risked it all, because it's like that. Like I said, the man, he's
mhm,
so dangerous. He's so dangerous, and just like how he tried to blow up Kid Cudi, blew up his car
right,
because his
yeah.
dad. Yeah,
Yeah, no, exactly. But then I think what also helps in a way is the fact that if he worked for Diddy, then he already pretty much knew what his character was. So I'm sure he already was aware of what was going on. So he probably actually felt even more empathetic and for Cassie. But I'm just glad that she's with him. She's
I
happy.
know.
She's
Me
got a
too.
third child on the way, and it's like because it's disgusting. It's really gross. And
Exactly.
um, but yeah, but that's what people with money and what some people with money and power do, and it is very extremely,
Oh yeah, of course.
extremely alarming. Yeah. But in Real Housewives news, nice little, well, that was a quick segue. Real Housewives news, it looks like we've got Real Housewives of Rhode Island about to pop off, apparently. So it looks like the rumors were true that there is a Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I don't know much. I'm seeing like little bits and pieces. There's rumors that there is a former housewife that's supposed to be not a former housewife, like I guess. Well, I don't know. They just said a housewife, a veteran housewife. I think is supposed
Another
to be joining the
franchise.
cast. Hmm.
I heard little rumblings about
And
that too. Yes.
I think the rumor I heard, I think it's rumored to be like Dolores, I think is that housewife. I don't know though. I don't know. I could be
Yeah, that's the
wrong. I
rumor I
have no
heard
idea.
too. Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
time will tell ultimately, but it's
Yeah.
interesting because it's like Rhode Island's not one of those places I think of. Then again, it's like, I mean, whenever I did go to Northeast, I was always either in New York or Connecticut, and that time I went to DC. So it's kind
Right.
of like I don't really think about it much, and I still feel like that Real Housewives of DC was kind of like not given much of a shot. But who knows? It might possibly come back
Yeah.
one day with Miami.
Yeah,
Miami
that's
came for
true.
2
Yeah.
seasons and it went, and like 9 years later, it popped back up, and now it's like hotter
It
than
came
ever.
back up.
So
Oh, I know. I love Miami.
anything
I
can
know. I'm
happen.
excited for that too.
So,
Um,
yeah, speaking of coming things
huh?
that's coming back, one of my favorite shows on Bravo ever is coming back, Ladies of London.
Yeah, it is coming back. I heard. So I've never watched it, believe it or not. I never watched Ladies of
Oh
London,
my
which
god,
I know you always talk
I
about it.
loved it. You should watch it, yeah, because I'm sure it's on
So
Peacock,
this will be
but,
my turn. Yeah, it'll be my turn to
yeah,
finally watch
yeah.
that. And is Caroline Stanberry going to be on it?
She was on, well, I don't know if she's gonna be on a reboot or not, but I think she will be because I heard they're canceling Dubai, which makes
I'm
sense
thinking,
because that's
yeah,
what
because
she
Dubai wasn't. Yeah,
it just didn't
I would.
hit. And Bravo
Mm-mm. No, it
loved
didn't.
her, and I love her too, so it's
Yeah,
kinda like
I love Caroline
she used to be
Stanberry. I love her from just
she used to be back
watching.
being the head
But that
honcho
was
and like it. But yeah,
yeah, she was my favorite part of
yeah, and that's um
oh, sorry, you know,
so
our
I
late
think they
with
might
this
I think they're recasting
do I know?
our connections right now. But anyway, um, it's like, but I don't know. I think it might be. I think it's gonna be an all new cast. I think I'm not really sure. I would bet that Caroline's coming back. Because no,
Mhm.
Juliet is she's been in the United States for a while now, and so is Marissa. Because they're both Americans who lived in London for a long time. And so I've been following
Okay.
quite a few. Actually, follow almost. I've been following almost all the ladies actually for a while on social media still after all these years. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
what's also bittersweet is one of my absolute favorites on it passed away a few years ago, Annabelle.
I remember you told me about that.
Yeah, she had a
Yeah.
stroke because she was best friends with Alexander McQueen, and she was really good friends with Naomi Campbell
Oh,
also. Because Naomi Campbell was on an episode once visiting her.
okay.
Yeah, and so like that's just like oh, that was sad. But what's so crazy about it was that probably literally I think days or weeks or whatever before she died, Shep was hanging out with her in London because he was out there Shep in
Oh, I
Southernshire.
remember that. I do remember you telling me about it because I remember whenever you told me about how she passed away, and you
Yeah,
told me about how she was hanging out with Shep like right before, not long before it happened.
like literally, like I feel like it was like literal days or weeks or something like that. It was such a like it was so long ago, but such a short time window when it happened, and it
Yeah.
was crazy. I'm like, we literally just saw her just hang out with him, and so that's sad, because like that happened, and I think I had been issues from what she had, like she was a horse, like a big, horse enthusiast, and she had
Oh, she was an
issues like
equestrian. Wasn't she an equestrian?
I think she might have been equestrian. I feel like she was. I want to say she was, but she was definitely like a blue blood, like came from that kind of background. So I'm pretty sure she was, and she had an incident where she was riding and was thrown from a horse. And I remember she had like apparently she had lifelong effects from that. And I'm willing to bet that, like, I'm no doctor, but I'm willing to bet that something related to that ended up
Yeah.
ultimately, causing her to have a stroke and passing away. And oh, that makes me sad because like I loved Annabelle. She's one of my favorites on there. But we'll see what happens. But I mean, I think I have so many, especially I guess since it's been a while, like it's been years since the season came out, like when the show was out. That
Mhm.
this is, I mean, so probably can go with a whole new cast, and I think it's what they're gonna do. They might go with younger people, I'm guessing, but who knows? Maybe more influencer types. But at the same time, they do go with more influencer type. Because I mean, that's like what happened
Lost
with yeah. I'll say with the against influencer types. I don't know how that's really translating. However, I think people are realizing. I think especially with the RHORI reboot, because the
Yeah,
fact
that
that
was a
it's
big
like
mistake.
people are overly. Because I absolutely loved them as individuals, but I think it's like they're overly
Yeah, me
curated,
too.
and
Mhm.
I think that's
And
where like
I think that was the problem. Yeah, because
yeah, that's how
they already had they were all pretty much well known, and they all had their social media following. That's what they said. That they think that was a mistake. They were all pretty much a brand themselves, and then they
Yeah.
tried to bring them all together. I think it just kind of
Right. Yeah. And I think that the only way it's something that's going to work is if kind of like with the way Beverly Hills did, where you get people who are already kind of like either celebrities already or on the outskirts of it, who
Mhm.
aren't pseudo like who aren't pseudo who didn't get their fame derived from social media. I think that's the way that's going to work.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I could definitely
Mhm.
see that for sure. But oh my
Yeah.
gosh, what else is going on these days in the news? Anything else that stood out that's standing out? Oh my god, if I could talk, I am like I'm halfway delirious right now. I'm like I'm halfway. You know what it was? It's like I said like earlier when I started. It's because yesterday was I was so thrown off with my trying to get stuff done, so my brain is just not functioning the way I want it to. But yeah,
Because
have
you're
you seen
sitting there trying
anything
to for
else like
hours trying to get that.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, well, the whole Kim Kardashian trial of like with her
I
like
forgot about that.
that home invasion style robbery in Paris that happened like was it 8 years, 9 years ago? Yeah, 9 years ago in 2016.
Mhm.
They finally went to trial for that. Went to court. It's kind of crazy because the fact that what's interesting is that I feel like a lot of people like really. I mean, how do I say this? I mean, the Kardashians. It's like I mean, their level of like fortune they've amassed over the years through everything, and that and how many like how much I mean, it's like, and how many pots they have their hand in, and how involved they are in a lot of like elements of like everything when it comes to
Mhm.
businesses, entertainment. That it's kind of a lot of people already kind of I think like didn't really care for them, but now it's kind of like
Right.
even
Yeah.
more so too, just because of that and some obvious affiliations, which I'm not going to get into right now. Which if you know, you know. But it's kind of I think a lot of that, and people are kind of growing tired of it. So it's kind of like the general consensus I feel is that I mean, to me, it's like I'm interested in this trial because of the fact that mainly because of the fact I hear like so many stories from. I mean, obviously, from watching true crime, whatever, just hearing about things
Right.
about robberies going wrong and how she could have easily been unalived in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, thankfully she didn't. But a lot of people, there are people who thought that, and don't like them anyway, thought that this was staged. But I was like, she was already at a pretty big height of fame. Like, why would she even do that? And then, but
Right.
also,
Yeah. I know. I agree. Mhm.
yeah, it definitely curbed her like her social media for a long time, for a while, and like
Mhm.
wanting what she had and her belongings stuff. And granted, like once she got over that, she kind of was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it all over again. And I mean, well, how like what like whatever your opinions of her or her family in general, like I don't wish that on anybody.
No.
Yeah, for the most part, and but also too, I mean, because I mean, she had little kids. I mean, I think I want to say Saint was a baby when
Yeah.
that
They
happened.
were like basically
North was pretty
babies. Yeah.
young, yeah, and so because I mean, from what I understand, that from those of you who don't really know much about it, she was in Paris at Paris Fashion Week in 2016. So it's probably around. It was kind of like around this time 9 years ago. She was with her team, and I believe like her family. Like again, I don't remember who all of her family was there, but I feel like her mom was there. I think maybe Chloe and maybe Kendall. I think Kendall. I think might have been walking the show or something like that. And Chris and some people part of team family. And so like she posted she's posting on social media a lot of times things in real time about she's doing this, doing that. And I don't think but
I
apparently
remember
from the
that.
top, yeah, she had there were like I think about 5 people. I think it was actually more than that. But look, it's her. It was like 5 people who were dressed up as police officers who like crashed her hotel room and tied and bound and gagged her, blindfolded her, put her in the bathtub, and they held her at gunpoint and robbed her of
Mhm.
like millions of dollars worth of jewelry really that she had because she was by herself. So somehow they were
Yeah.
scoping
Yeah.
her out and following her around to like to pick up on her movements and to know when she didn't have anybody around, any security around, and to make their move. Because it took them a while. It took them a while to find who was involved.
Yeah. It
And I
did.
think what
Yeah.
surprised people the most is the fact that they were like older, as mostly older
Yeah. They were
people.
old. Yeah.
Yeah,
Old dudes. Yeah.
which was insane because it's like that's not something you would
Mhm.
really expect from someone like that. But yeah, that's what
Yeah.
happened, and which is crazy to think about. So they went to court for that. She was testifying, and I kind of feel like people don't really care about that. I mean, I do because the fact that
Yeah, I
I mean,
do. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of her the way I was back then, no. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's still something that interests me. But
Yeah, for
it,
sure.
because of that, it was a pretty scary matter and all. But so I'm interested in seeing how that's going to turn out as a whole.
Yeah, most definitely. And didn't one of the robbers died, if I'm right, like passed away because I don't know if he was sick or what, but like that's
I
what I
didn't know
was
that.
starting to realize. Yeah, that it came out that they were like these guys, I think they're now in like their 60s or 70s now or something like that. So,
Sounds about
and
right.
what
Yeah.
was also wild because like you said, it's like usually all the people committing all these robberies these days, they're like what? Usually in their teens and 20s. I mean,
Yeah.
you still see people in their 30s, some in their 40s, but it's like, yeah, at the age level that they were at, that was pretty shocking. And I
That's
think
pretty
people like
insane.
named
Yeah.
them like the grandpa robbers or something like that
That's what
or
they nicknamed
something.
them. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. So but yeah, but I did see that she was at the Met Gala and Kylie was at the Met Gala. So but I know she was at that trial. But well, what was I going to Kanye. And Kanye, of course, we know Kanye's still not okay. He's I don't know what's going on there, but I think that Kim needs to get custody of those kids ASAP. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. It's probably a lot more difficult than
Yeah.
us saying, you go get your kids. And it's just it's a scary thing. And that's wild. Like he is just not okay.
No, and which is really sad because it's like you see, I mean, clearly see how much he literally fell apart after his mom passed.
Hmm.
I mean, he
No,
has
yeah, you're
never
right.
been the
Yeah.
same, like not even close.
Mm-mm. No, you're definitely right about that. And it's like it's just one of those situations where it's like you can't force a person to take medication. You can't like force them into a situation. It seems, or like what do people do? Like especially someone who has that much money and
Yeah,
power. It's
sometimes
like
there's not
what?
much you can do, but just love them from a distance and just pray and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Because someone like, because an old friend of mine, one of their friends, like knew him and like was in his circle, or whatever. Like, and it was like whenever he was recording a beautiful dark twisted fantasy, and that was like a right, but like that was like right after his mom died, and they
Mm,
said they could tell that he was really really going through it. And however it was, it's like this friend of a friend was like, "Look, I said I have this home out, I think it was somewhere I'll just stay. I don't want to stay where, out here, like it's a small town and was going to bother you. Why don't you just take some time by yourself? I'll give you the keys and just go and just you know get yourself,
mhm,
just decompress, get yourself together, take some time while you're time reading. And it's like how people are be like, offering things like that, 4 minutes, like you do it. And so it's like I imagine there's that one story I heard from someone that I knew who do him. That I can imagine
mhm.
that many other people taught the same thing. But like I said, it's kind of like you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. It's that. Yeah, that is definitely true for sure. But yeah, that is just. I just feel for those kids, and like you just wonder like what's gonna happen. I think you're. I think you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Blair's internet, I think it's a bit slow.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
yeah, I
missing
think your internet
the
is
connection's going
slow.
off.
Yeah, that's alright. But, well, I guess on that's all we pretty much have for today. I mean, we got through, like, a lot of topics, a lot of things that's going on, so anything that's the one thing I wanted to bring up that I saw, which is so fascinating to me, and I sent you the link. It was, like, one of because I just, like I know a lot of people do this 2 AM, 3 AM, like, scrolling through the phones and they start watching things and videos, and I saw this, like, video, this article, and it was, like, um, all these, like, Japanese employees, and they get together, and these, like, male employees, but I don't think they all work at the same place. It's like they meet and they do cheer stunts, and it was the
I
most
saw it. That was
fascinating
really
thing.
funny. Whenever you sent
Yeah,
that
it's
to
like
me.
they get together, I guess, like, during their lunch breaks and, like, or, like, after work, and it's like they're in their suits, like, their work
I
clothes,
know. I
and
saw
they
that was
do
really funny. I
cheer
hope they have
stunts,
stretchy pants
and I thought that was
because I
the
don't know.
coolest.
I don't know if they'd be at work and tear
Yeah.
their pants.
Yeah.
But
It's like
it's a very interesting way to relieve stress, and I thought that was
yeah.
hysterical.
I thought so too, and now I'm, like, curious. I'm like, I wonder what their work-life balance is. I wonder what it's like. I really do. Like, I wonder, like, what if they're like more like relaxed and calm or like working. I mean, they have to be. They have to feel better because I mean, even when I used to work out, um, during my lunch breaks and then trying to do a quick shower and then go back to work, like I felt like so much better. But I just thought that was really fascinating because that's why I shared it with you. I was like, this is pretty interesting, pretty fun.
Yeah,
But
that was yeah, that was really really funny. And that it's I'm trying to see if I can find the article because like that to share with it because it's one of the things you have to and
yeah, yeah, if you could find it, I'm trying to see where it came from. I'll look too. It was let's see here. Let's
yeah.
see. I'm just trying to. Oh, I found it. Here we go. Japanese salarymen, cheerleaders. Here we go. I'll share my page. It's from Reuters. Um, but yeah, it was very interesting, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I wanted to just go ahead and bring it up because it's something just so different, and I was just like, what in the world? And then I started to like watch it. I'm like, this is actually really cool. But like, this is them. Like
Right.
they're
No, because actually do like
like,
stunts and yeah.
yeah, they do. Like they do stunts. They do it from like yeah Monday through Friday. They get together and um yeah, it's so interesting though to me. I thought
It's
that
so
was really
fun.
cool. But yeah, like you see about all in their little their suits there,
Bring
and
it
they
in a
got.
way.
I think
Like,
it's the cutest thing in the world. I love that. I love that. This
yeah,
is
see
so
if you can
neat
find a
to me.
video because I think I'll be even better.
Yeah, I'm trying to look because like what I saw before was a video, so that's what caught my
Oh, was
attention
it?
because
Okay,
I
yeah.
saw an actual video, and then I found the article. So
Okay,
however it
yeah.
is, if I can find a video, but like I said, at one point I found a video, and I'll have to
I'm
look for
trying
it
to
again.
check on the
Maybe
video
the next time
actually.
we come back, we'll like I'll see if I can find something. But I thought that was pretty fascinating. Though, isn't that cool? Though
Let me post the link that I found real quick.
I'm
Yeah,
like
that is
I'm all
really
about
cool. That's
stress
really
relief. Like, yeah, like y'all tell us what kind of ways do y'all find? What ways do y'all find to relieve stress? Mine is looks like podcasting. It's been working out. I need to get back to the gym. That was like mainly like one of my main favorite things to do. But I thought that was really cool though, and that kind of brought out that little cheerleader side of me too. Oh, that was.
oh
But
yeah, actually,
speaking
I
of,
guess but yeah, I didn't hear but I would say from yeah, because I for me like for relieving stress, I mean I've been working out quite a bit, so it's been fun.
yeah, I know it's always like the best way. And definitely, I need to sleep more because I just have not been sleeping. Like lately, it's like I don't know what I have so much like I want to get done, and so I just end up staying up late, and then me not sleeping is just not good. It's not healthy. So I need to get that and get that
Right.
together. But yeah, but in the meantime, we're gonna get ready to wrap up here shortly. But we've got some episodes that are dropping that we've got banked up. So I'm excited to get those rolled
Oh yeah.
out. So we got some treats coming for y'all. And then, of course, we'll be back next Tuesday and see what we've got going on. And we've got some more things coming up. But we actually did a collab recently with Vanderpump Robs. That was a whole lot of fun. So that I know that episode's gonna drop out in June, but he dropped some teasers today, so I got to send that out. So and y'all should go give him a follow and
Yeah.
subscribe to his Patreon because his
Of course.
podcast is a lot of fun. And he actually did a live with like Kiki Monique and some others recently. So that was like super exciting for him. So yeah, so we're getting there. We're doing
That's what I want to manifest
some
for
nice
us one
things.
day. To do live shows one day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for
That's some
sure.
good
For
ideas up my
sure.
sleeve.
So
That's different from anybody else is doing. So
there we
putting out to
go.
the universe.
Manifest, manifest, manifest. Yeah, we could do it. Alrighty then. All right, on that note, I guess we'll go ahead and just wrap it up since and sorry again for the technical
Yeah.
difficulties. It seems like I don't know what is going on. It's like it's like a microphone. Then we've had internet issues when we got together and filmed. So finally we're thinking, okay, we're gonna get it right. And then it's okay, we made
Yeah.
it. We're here. So we've
This is
got
very
our
frustrating
first
because I had someone over
episode.
here to look at the internet and they said nothing seemed wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty, well, on that note, y'all, please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Please share. If you can, go on Apple
Yes.
also and leave us a review. Even Spotify, that would be so great because we do drop the episodes. This will drop tomorrow on Apple, Spotify. So it's usually the very next day, after we do
Yeah.
our lives on Thursday. So, but yeah, again, thank y'all so much for all of your support.
Thank you for joining us.
We appreciate it. And two, we also have our Buy Me a Coffee link if you want to donate and us and help us with all the things we keep to get this old podcast going and running. And we are 2 years in, right, Blair? 2 years of this podcast.
Yeah.
And her internet is okay. There we go. All right, thought I lost you for a second. All right, well, on that note, again, for about the 5th time I said, we will get ready to roll on out. So y'all have a good night. I'm starting to get a little sleepy here, and I think I'm gonna crash a little
All right.
early.
Yeah, good night, everyone.
Take it easy.
I'm gonna head on out myself. All right, take care. Bye.